6 aid workers, 1 Palestinian, 3 British citizens, 1 from Poland, and 1 from Australia were all killed. This is what it looked like. So Israel says it was not targeted. I beg you, and if you're listening, just imagine a vehicle with a hole right through the top of the set, like through the roof of it, completely through the roof of it. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3 vehicles, and they were all very explicitly targeted. And I've seen this before. I've seen, a rescue worker, specifically an ambulance, with a bomb hole right through it, just where a missile went right through. Although we don't have confirmation about exactly which missile was used. And the other place I saw that was during one of the other wars on Gaza. And that's when I knew. And I was, working in leftist media at the time then. I still am now. And you see these images of a red cross with just a hole through it. And you're like, yeah, these fools deliberately target aid workers. They target anyone providing humanitarian aid. And that's exactly what they did, even though they say they didn't. And even though Netanyahu said later, we didn't deliberately target them, but also this happens in war. This happens in war. Here are 2 of the members of that convoy, Zomi Francombe, who is Australian, and Damien Sabal, who was Polish. There are no words for this kind of atrocity. Like, I just spent the whole morning muttering and swearing and cussing and crying. And, you see the children looking on to look at what happened to these people. And you realize, like, no child should have to see any of this. But to know that these are people coming to help you, coming to feed you, coming to do something. By the way, they had 400 tons of food aid. They were on their way to deliver 100 of those tons, and 300 got sent back, because there's no way that the World Central Kitchen is going to be continuing with this mission to help the people of Gaza not starve. It is ethnic cleansing. It is genocide. The goal is to wipe Gazans off the map. The goal is to kill them, to maim them. We are on the precipice of an imminent invasion of Rafah. And the goal is to starve them and to kill them and to absolutely obliterate their name. That's it. And the last people to understand this and to actually fully appreciate that is, the Biden administration, not unlike the Trump administration on this particular issue. Here is Secretary Blinken speaking about this attack on the World Central Kitchen. And you can see some of the footage, and here are his words for Netanyahu.
We shouldn't have a situation where people who are simply trying to help their fellow human beings are themselves at grave risk. We've spoken directly to the Israeli government about this particular incident. We've urged a swift, a thorough, an impartial investigation to understand exactly what happened. And as we have throughout this conflict, we've impressed upon the Israelis the absolute imperative of doing more to protect innocent civilian lives, be they Palestinian children, women, and men, or be they aid workers.
Do more? Do how much? Like, how much do you want? Do you want 5% more? Do you want 50% more? How many aid workers do you want dead? Do you want 1 aid worker dead? Do you want 7? How many civilians do you want dead? Do you want 32,000 civilians? Do you want, like, how many death zones do you want outside of Al-Shifa Hospital, according to Haaretz? Do you want 1 kill zone, 2 kill zones, no kill zones? Again, as the Israeli army admits that they have just zones where if you step foot in them, you'll be murdered. As we did see from released drone footage just a couple weeks ago. The last thing I'll say about this is not only is the Biden administration so pitifully and so painfully weak, but here's what gets me the most. We are also not only on the precipice of an invasion of Rafah, but on the precipice of a full-out regional war. Israel's attacking the Iranian consulate in Syria. Israel is attacking southern Lebanon. It's likely there will be an invasion of southern Lebanon. And who is this teeing up for, people? Who could this is what's so wild to me. Not only because maybe Joe Biden, maybe by November would pull it back just a little bit because this is getting so out of hand. Oh yeah, genocide the Palestinians, but let's not get it too out of hand. Who is this teeing up for? This is teeing up for Mr. Donald Trump, whose party is fully ready to be like, yeah, why don't we go Nagasaki on Gaza, as was stated by Representative Wahlberg not so long ago. Like, do we understand the fire that we're playing with? Forget the moral level. I've said this a million times. On a geopolitical level, just how dangerous all of this is for everyone involved, and how excited Israel would be to pull the United States into a hot war with Iran. Rock on, baby. All because we couldn't cut the fucking purse strings for this genocide. It is so sick. And if you want one more little, here's just a thing that keeps me up at night, y'all. Lastly, before we get into this, here's from Cheetah Parsi. He's been on this show translating what a Swedish aid worker had to report from Gaza. Said, a little boy with a bruised face, no more than 11 or 12, exited an ambulance. I asked if he was okay. I saw blood dripping from his backpack. Quote, do you know what I have in the backpack? He asked. My little brother, Ahmed. So when I say that every day there's something more horrifying than you've heard, that's what I'm talking about. Every single day, these people are carrying their brothers home in their backpacks. Where do you go from here? What happens? When is enough? It doesn't matter if all of the aid workers were American. It doesn't matter. You understand that, right? Literally all morning I've been like, I do think Taylor Swift needs to go to Gaza. This is it. And even then, even if she dies, because she would die, she'd absolutely be killed. Wouldn't she go out a goddamn martyr? Like, wouldn't that, you know what I'm saying? And then Beyonce could be like Queen and then be the whole thing and like Cowboy Carter. Yeah. The point is thus, when is enough enough? It is up to us. It is up to us to sanction or argue for sanctions, to boycott where we can, to divest where we can, and to keep the goddamn pressure on, because no one is doing anything. You see how weak Blinken is there, even though he's sorry, and Biden sends his condolences. Spare us. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.